Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
And the budget will balance itself.
Do I have to sue CNN?
Legacy doesn't mean nothing. I'm gonna die and it's gonna be over.
Welcome, it's Harjedius. Well, this generation's Iron Man, Elon Musk, is not only firmly back at the helm at Tesla, but will be leading it far into the future now that his fabulous pay package is approved. On November 6th, a $1 trillion performance-based pay plan was approved for Musk by shareholders. Put simply, anytime a Musk hits a new valuation goal and also captures any one of the dozen operational targets in any order, he receives 35.312 million shares in a Tesla restricted stock, adding to his current stake of almost 16%. The end goal being a $8.5 trillion market cap for Tesla and 424 million shares for himself. Of course, along the way, he gets to smoke as much weed with Joe Rogan and rack up as many baby mamas as he wants. Elon Musk had a blockbuster interview with the coolest man in all of India, Nikhil Kamath, released on November 30th. One of the topics discussed was America's H-1B program and immigration. Let's get into it.
For a long time, the US had a lot of immigration, like really smart people coming into the country.
Yes.
We back home in India called it the brain drain.
Right.
All our Indian origin CEOs in Western companies.
Yes, I think America has benefited immensely from talented Indians that have come to America.
That seems to be
Obviously.
changing now, though.
Yeah, I mean, America has been an immense beneficiary of talent from India.
Yeah. Why has that narrative changed of late, and America seems to have become anti-immigration to a certain extent? Like, I was passing immigration and I was worried if they'd stop me a couple of days ago.
Well, I think there's different schools of thought. It's not like unanimous, but under the Biden administration, it was basically a total free-for-all with like no border controls, which, unless you've got border controls, you're not a country. So you had massive amounts of illegal immigration under Biden, and it actually also had like somewhat of a negative selection effect. So if there's a massive financial incentive to come to the U.S. illegally and get all these government benefits, then you're going to necessarily create a diffusion gradient for people to come to the U.S. It's an incentive structure. And so I think that obviously made no sense. Like, you got to have border controls. It's kind of ridiculous not to. Then on the left wants to basically have open borders, no holds barred. It doesn't matter if someone what the situation is. It could be a criminal. Doesn't matter. Then on the right, you've got at least a perception that somehow their jobs are being taken by talented people from other countries. I don't know how real that is. My direct observation is that there's always a scarcity of talented people. So, from my standpoint, I'm like, we have a lot of difficulty finding enough talented people to get these difficult tasks done, and so more talented people would be good. But I guess some companies out there, it's sort of, they're making it more of a cost thing, where it's like, okay, if they can employ someone for a fraction of the cost of an American citizen, then I guess these other companies would hire people, just to save costs. But at my companies, the issue is we just are trying to get the most talented people in the world. So, and we pay way above average. So that's not my experience, but that's what a lot of people do complain about. And I think there's been some misuse of the, H-1B program. It's certainly, it would be accurate to say that there's, like some of the outsourcing companies have kind of gamed the system on the H-1B front, and we need to stop the gaming of the system, But I'm certainly not in the school of thought that we should shut down the H-1B program. Which some on the right are. I think they don't realize that would actually be very bad.
So to recap, Nicole points out the high level of skilled immigration to the USA and says Indians have recognized it as their brain drain. Upon hearing this, Elon immediately replies America has benefited immensely from talented Indians. Yes, he said Indians specifically who have come to America. So right off the cuff, Elon has no problem stating what he believes to be the truth. Now, Elon goes on to address immigration issues that are very reasonable and do need to be addressed, such as having basic border controls, saying that under Biden there was an illegal immigration free-for-all and without borders there's no country. He addresses the feelings towards illegal immigration that Joe Biden exasperated, saying that there was a huge financial incentive for illegals to come to America for government benefits and therefore a very strong incentive to hop the border. This is all true and more than reasonable to discuss, and yet has absolutely nothing to do with the firestorm against skilled illegal immigration that America's woke right have become obsessed with. He says there is a concern that H-1B or like visas may be being abused, allowing companies to hire people from abroad when they can find what they need locally. He says point blank, some outsourcing companies have gamed the system and it does need to stop. Of course, this is more than reasonable and companies that do that should be punished heavily, which is why increased oversight is needed. He emphasizes that for his companies, this is not an issue because his challenge is always trying to find enough skilled people and avoiding shortages. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. So I think nearing the end of 2025, it's safe to say that both the American left and right and that of a few other countries suffer severe derangement syndromes. The woke left suffers chronic Trump derangement syndrome and the woke right suffers Indian derangement syndrome. Both cases require straitjackets. Now what you saw Elon perform was a considerate and reasonable discussion on illegal immigration, legal immigration, and jobs, where he addressed the concerns at hand but didn't jump off a cliff while doing it. So the lightning really struck in December of 2024 when the then President-elect Trump named Sriram Krishnan from Chennai, India as a senior White House policy advisor on artificial intelligence. That instant, much of America lost its collective mind and went into blind rage, as if this position on AI was what they were betting their hopes and dreams on and it had to go to one of their good old boys or else. I mean, just 5 years ago, hardly anyone was even talking about AI. At the same time, Krishnan isn't some schlub off the street. He has led product development teams at Microsoft, Yahoo, Facebook, and Snap. He also worked with Elon Musk at Twitter to help rebuild it in 2022 when Elon bought it. If there is one thing President Trump respects, it is experts in their field, and Krishnan is on the cutting edge. Without Elon Musk, an H-1B immigrant himself, the fucking right in America would be censored and in jail right now because the homo Democrats would have won. It was Elon who was the one who gave the right their voice back by buying Twitter at great cost to himself. And so it's crystal clear where he stands on skilled immigration. Here's what his team looks like. And don't forget this colorful X post from December 27 last year. Also, I'll leave you again with his last statement in the interview. Thanks for joining me.
But I'm certainly not in the school of thought that we should shut down the H-1B program. That's which some on the right are. I think they don't realize that that would actually be very bad.